Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. Today we are going to be talking about some new makeup, some new favorites in my collection, and in particular ones I think would make really good summer swaps for maybe things that work really great in the winter, but it's hot. It's real hot. You're sweaty, you might be more oily. So we're gonna talk less about SPF products. We've already hit that. It's gonna be more around some lightweight favorites that still have really great longevity. So if you wanna check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for being here. All right, friends, I have a lot of brand new makeup in front of me. I have been testing a lot of products lately that I haven't even mentioned anywhere. So I'm gonna pull out my very favorites that I'm like, this is perfect for this time of the year. So if you've been curious if it's something that would be good for you, we're gonna start off with primer. I've already done my skincare. I've already done my sunscreen. Should be the last step of your skincare routine always. But we're gonna say, like, what if you've been doing that normally in your routine and your skin still needs a little bit of help through the summer heat? So first of all, we're gonna go if you aren't necessarily oily, but you are sweaty. I know I sometimes need help in this area because I have normal skin. I do get oilier in the summer, but for the most part, it's when I'm sitting outside and I feel like I need to like dab my face because I just feel like it's gonna melt off. I've talked about this before, it's been a while. So Carpe is the brand. This is the sweat absorbing face lotion. They also have primers, but the face lotion is the only one that is silicone free if you do need it to be silicone free. It uses starches and silica, which is an absorbent compound. So it will absorb the sweat. So you can use it under your makeup. You can use this. It's just a body lotion on the back of your neck if that's a problem area. So this is really good as a primer. It just works like a lotion. What I'm gonna use today is Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. Such a very unique formulation. The reason I like this is because it works for oily skin. I feel like it even works for us normal girls who just need a little bit extra in the summer. And because it's so lightweight and serum-like, it doesn't feel heavy. Whereas there are a lot of great oil blocking primers, but they're usually silicone based or very heavy. This is not heavy. So this is a great one for those of you that don't want to feel like your skin is suffocating. And it's just like a liquidy serum that you can barely, you're not gonna feel it on your face, and you can just use it in those areas that maybe you want a little extra absorption. So I feel like this works great for all skin types, and it kind of mattifies, and I believe it's silicone free as well. I'll have to double check. So I'm just gonna put that in my T-zone and I'm good to go. Now, if you're like, Sarah, I have mature, extremely dry skin, and even my sunscreen isn't enough to hydrate me. I need something moisturizing as a primer so that I get a nice finish to my makeup. I just got this for the first time. Oh my gosh. I will be honest, if I'm not going outside, I have been putting this on and it is magical. So I did an entire video showing Vive, and this is the one I was using, Skin Nova. This one's got a little bit of glow to it, but this is their Super Skin Nova. And this one is a extremely hydrating primer. It has the same amazing smell. It's like I almost just want to put this on my drier areas because it makes everything like just lay on the skin, and it like plumps up my skin. It makes everything look better, to be honest. So I've been kind of obsessed. And when I had my eye issues, which I finally cleared up, this is what I was putting on my eyes so that I could put on eye makeup. Thing would lay right over peeling skin, and this was like magic magic in a really beautiful glass jar. So I'm still obsessed with Vive. Oh, and I think this video will go out before. I also got a discount code through the end of July. I will put that here. Such a good brand, such a good brand. And there's more I will be sharing from that. If you were using a primer that you felt like was just adding to weight of your face, switch it out with something more lightweight depending on your skin type. Okay, moving on. I just went ahead and grabbed one thing to show you what I would swap. Go from heavier creams. This is a beautiful foundation stick by Dior. It is freaking fantastic. But man, it feels heavy unless you almost thin it out with something, especially in the summer. So I still have a absorbent amount of skin tints to show you guys. But I would say the most thin, weightless, lightweight, actually feels like a skin tint and not just a lighter foundation or feels like a foundation would be this one. I've tested a lot. So I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever Super Boost Perfecting Moisture Boosting Skin Tint. So if you are for the easiest makeup ever in the summer and you love the convenience of this to just throw it on, buff it out, I like this packaging. I didn't know if I would at first because I can throw it on, buff it out, and I don't feel like it's gonna melt off of my face in the summer. So I love that you can just kind of like push the end. It really does feel like a skin tint. It gives coverage, lightweight coverage, and definitely evens out the skin, but it never feels heavy. Now, it's by no means comparable coverage to this, so don't get me wrong. It is definitely not. But I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 106 to just kind of buff this around. And it truly feels weightless, which if you are going outside, if you live in the humidity of like Missouri, like I do, and maybe you don't care about getting full coverage while you're at the pool or whatever the case may be, it is beautiful and really lightweight. Like I cannot feel it on my skin. So that was my criteria. Swap out anything heavy and go with super light, super quick, super fast. Okay, so if you feel like you need more coverage and you just want to, again, not necessarily wear a full coverage foundation, but maybe just spot conceal where you need coverage. We're going for the least amount of makeup possible here. Then I would say going with a really lightweight concealer. This has been my go-to if I'm just gonna throw it on a couple of key places. This is the Glossier Balm Concealer. And you like a fluffy brush, which is new to me. In 14, okay? That way I can just keep it as thin as possible. So I will typically either use Seint for this, just around my eyes, or if you're not a Seint wearer, I will use this. It's the closest thing I've ever found to the creams of Seint that don't look heavy under my very aging eyes, but it does not give me near the coverage, in my opinion, that I can get with fully color correcting and using my shades of creams, but that takes longer. So this is my fast summer makeup, just adding a little bit more coverage where I need it. So I typically just go over, and you'll see I will not be close to a medium coverage or anything like that. This is going to be very natural. So just spot conceal. The fluffier your brush, the more light-handed it will go on as well. Again, really quick and easy. The next item is something that I have been using on repeat for so long, and I cannot believe I haven't shared it yet. So when they came out with this was sent to me in PR, I was like, wow, that's genius. So these are the Contour Stay-Ins. If you guys remember the viral lip liners that peel off, same company. This is by xoxo. I've got more to share that they just are launching as well. But these have been like, I don't even know. Like, what did I do before these? It's been such a summer staple for me. So I have 2 shades. I have 03 Giving Drama. This is what I would consider like a medium tone. Very much can sculpt, but more on the warm side. I consider this more like a bronzer and sculpt in one. Okay, when I need a little bit of color, this is what I'm gonna grab. And then I have 02 Giving Iconic. You can tell by looking at just the caps, this is much more of a contour shade, in my opinion. It is very cool toned. So let me show you guys the swatches. It comes in this clicky pen that you just, whatever, click, and then you can, it's got the, I'm always nervous that these are gonna like explode on me. But it's got the, what do you call that? The little spongy applicator. Okay, so this is the medium shade. And this is the lighter shade. So can you tell how warm this is in comparison and how cool this is? So this one is definitely 100% only a contour for me. I thought it was gonna be too light, but it's actually really nice to sculpt with. But I'll be honest, I don't necessarily sculpt every day in the summer. But if you do, these are supposed to be long wear liquid contours. I've heard some people say that they are waterproof. I don't know, but I do feel like they last a really long time. Like I almost think of it like a stain in a bronzer and contour form. So I'm gonna use this first as a bronzer. The only thing I would say about this is make sure you blend quickly because it does dry down rather quickly. So I tend to do my face in like sections. I'll do the forehead and go ahead and blend before it has time to set, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna push this into my hairline and you can see it almost like starts drying really quickly. But it gives the most beautiful warmth. But there's been plenty of times where this is all I've used and I haven't contoured and it looks really, really beautiful. Really beautiful. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and just use this like I would bronzer, a little bit higher than a typical contour. And then I'm just going to press in order to blend it out. And you can probably see it gives a lot of sculpt to the face, even though this is a warmer tone. Like it gives so much warmth for me that I'm like, yes, that's all I need. I'm gonna go ahead and just draw on the neck. So I would say my only complaint with these, just blend quickly. Like don't put it all over. I mean, you probably can, I have done that before too, but like if you're not quick enough about blending, you might have some issues blending. But it blends so seamlessly. It is like so easy. I've got this like one spot that never wants to take any color. And I feel like, oh, it just works so well. So this has been what I've been gatekeeping all summer. Sorry, it's so good. So let me show you guys the 02 color. And I'm just gonna maybe add a little bit, like just a touch to add a little bit more shadow, because really this is cool enough that it will give that shadow. Not that my cheeks really need it, but I feel like the other one sculpts enough. But I am gonna use it under the lips and for the nose as well. And I feel like I can even be pretty messy and it blends out really easily. So definitely one of my favorite summer finds. Yes. So if you've been using a cream, I love this product, but If it's starting to feel like it's melting off, something like this I feel like is lighter weight, has a little bit more staying power. And then I would say your ultimate bet is to just use a powder bronzer over it and lock it in. So here are my two go-tos right now. Vive, both of them are matte. You get two shades, one a little bit warmer, one you can use that's a little bit more cooler shade to kind of contour with. Beautiful. And then this Laura Mercier, the Bronze Color Infusions. This is shade 30, and this is the one that has shimmer to it. So if you like a shimmer, this is stunning. If you like matte, Vive all the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Vive with BK Beauty 111, and I'm just gonna kind of quickly set that just so it's locked in. Use the darker shade towards the back, adds a little bit more dimension. And I also mix them all the time. So locked and loaded. Next is cheeks. So now is the time you can swap out anything that might be sticky or feels like it's melting with heat. I love a good cheek stain because I'm on a stain kick, which you will see, because they're usually really lightweight, kind of give you that sheer effect, and then they just last on the skin and they don't melt off. So Seint also has a cheek stain. I'm just gonna show you. I only have one shade and it's called I'm Bold 06. It's same kind of applicator, it's just a little bit wider. And this bad boy definitely will stain your cheeks. That's the color I have. She's so pretty. But there's a lot of other things that can double as cheek stains and lips. So if you're wanting something that's like both, I would say I use the lip tints from Seint all the time on my cheeks. They have incredible staining power. And then I am very impressed with this e.l.f. Sheer For It blush tint. They're calling it a blush tint, but then I think on the packaging it says blush and lips. The shade Cherry Cola in particular is stunning. So let's go ahead and use this. I love this because I do feel, I will be honest, it works better on the cheeks than on the lips as far as staying power. But if you're looking something affordable, it's $5. Maybe you don't, maybe you've never tried a stain on your cheeks before or your lips and you're wanting something to just kind of try. This is a fabulous product. This color, let me just show you guys, is very comparable to one that I also have that is very expensive. It's very sheer but buildable. So let me just show you guys what it looks like. And I love a stain because you can obviously easily layer it and put a little bit of powder over it. Or if you like the glowy look like me, that's all you need. I also really like layering it with something glowy under it, so it kind of, the glow will show through the stain. That's it, just one layer on its own. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite combo. Can you guys guess? Vive. These Nova Glow Liquid Lights are unlike anything else because they actually dry down and set. There's a lot of, like, I have some very expensive cream stick glassy like illuminators. But the problem is you can almost feel them on your face, especially in summer. It typically does not bother me, but ever since I've discovered these from Vive, I just keep using these. So Holy Chic and Ballerina. I'm gonna show you guys Ballerina because I'm obsessed. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, and I do just typically use my fingers. You could just use a brush though. as that glow. Once it dries down, it will set. And it's probably the most long wearing highlight I've ever owned, which is probably why I can't stop using her. And I love that she looks so good. I keep saying she like it's a person. I love her and I love how good it looks like under the blush. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more because this is a very sheer formulation, the e.l.f. one. Some of the other ones I have are a little bit thicker, like even the Seint ones are more color payoff. But if you like the sheer and you're like a little scared of the stain and you want it to kind of slowly build, this combo is stunning. She's so pretty, oh my gosh. e.l.f. did good with this one, I will say. It is definitely worth more than $5. Their prices have been going up, but $5 is amazing for this one. Is that not pretty? Love it so much. Obviously, if you're a cream girly, you could totally use something like Patrick Ta. This, I mean, he has genius formulations. The fact that you get a cream and then you can also lock it in with the powder. That is a no-fail way every summer. But I would say it kind of depends on the preference you're going for, because that is gonna give you a matte cheek. And this is a way I feel like I can get a stained glass type effect, that sheer wash of color that actually lasts, because a lot of times you'll try that with products and it doesn't actually stay. So have you guys tried a cheek stain? On the topic of stains, let's go ahead and do lips before we move on to the eyes, because this is the one that I feel like I got that I thought would be a good comparison to e.l.f. I actually bought the Clarins first because I wanted this color. Ooh, what's the color? 13? I don't remember. It's the water lip stain. And so this is a very like liquidy formula, but the color is stunning. It's very comparable to the e.l.f. in color. It smells fabulous, I will say that part is better, the smell. The brush is a little interesting. I don't know if I think I kind of prefer the doe foot, to be honest, but the color is beautiful. I would say though, neither of these really stay super well on my lips personally. I find the biggest difference, this is more hydrating than e.l.f., but the e.l.f. isn't very hydrating on my lips. Most stains on the markets can really suck the moisture out of your lips. Here is my pick. The new Huda lip stains, if you do not want to peel off the sachet ones. These are probably the longest wearing in my opinion, but you have to paint on, you can't get a really precise line and then you peel off the, if you guys did not see me, I've talked about these before, you then peel off the black. You let them sit for a few minutes and then you peel it off once it dries. The new Huda ones, the colors are fabulous. They just are a little bit dark for me personally. So I will show you guys what they look like. I have both toasty brown and soft nude. And when I put them on, here is toasty brown. Neither of them are light in color, even if you kind of blend it out. It gives me a very dramatic lip. I love the soft nude color. They dry down super fast, so you can't necessarily blend them easily. You want to make sure nothing's on your lips. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys soft nude. And it has a really cool applicator. I'm sure you guys have seen them talk, like no other lip staining like pen is quite like this. Yes, there are a lot on the market. Here are all ones I've tested. I've got CoverGirl, Palladio, Pixie. They're all drying in my opinion. And usually this type of felt tip applicator isn't quite as precise. So Huda really did they did a really great job with this. I just wish there was same kind of nudie tones, a little bit lighter. So I'll show you what I mean. Love the applicator. It's kind of flocked. They say it's special from Japan. It's beautiful, but you got to work quickly in small sections. So If I don't blend it out, it's very dark, so I'm gonna try to. And they also say you have to store it upside down or it will feel like it's drying out. Now, I've seen some beautiful lip looks of people using these on their entire lips. And let me tell you though, this stuff stays. It really does stay. So it's great for summer, but my lips totally pull everything very either orange or pink. And so I'm always looking for these nuanced nudie brown tones that don't pull things super off in color. And I will say, Huda's colors are better than any other lip staining lip liner besides the Sachu, in my opinion. Shade Nude, yeah, Noohde. Nude is a really great nude color. Oh, you see, I put a little bit too much on that side. So there's a learning curve with these. I find it a little bit more difficult to overline as well. But once you do put them on, they set, they don't move. So if that's what you're looking for, and you like a little bit darker, because this, I think they have maybe two shades lighter than this, then you might really love them. Okay, so that's the shade Soft Nude. I feel like I've been on a quest for quite a while, trying to find my everyday nude lip that would last. I'm still searching. So if you have any holy grails, please let me know. I do really love this shade. Oh gosh, this is Rose by Colfi. This is a lip staining lip oil. Shade is beautiful. And it is hydrating. And once the lip oil comes off, you're left with a stain. Very excited about the newest launch by Violet FR. And this is their lip nectars, which are hydrating lip stains. This is the shade Batiste, which I thought was gonna be very similar to this one, but this is Batiste. Can you see how much more pink it is? This is the most hydrating one I've ever found. It gives like a beautiful, well, I'm just gonna put it on. It gives such a full lip color. Like full glossy lip. And once this wears off, you will have a lip stain. Now, this for me is a little bold for my everyday. So I'm gonna kind of let it sit for while I do my eyes, and then I'm gonna take off what's left so that I just have a stain, which is my preferred way to wear it. So again, still on the hunt for something I can not have to do that with. All right, let's go ahead and set the face. There's definitely a difference between weights of powders in the summer. So if you use something that's technically a finishing powder in the winter, maybe you have dry skin, you might need something with a little bit more absorbency, sweat, oil control, and be able to go up a little bit to a little bit heavier of a powder. Consider the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing. It's called a Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. This is a very finely milled powder, and it's not gonna have as much absorbency as something like the Vive Modern Powder Perfector. This one you can just feel it's heavier, okay? Now, this is one of the few powders that I can use everywhere on my face and I don't get increase of texture that still absorbs oil for me as a normal skin girl, okay? If you have any oiliness, then I'd say go up, because this probably isn't gonna do it for you. You might need to go to a loose powder in the summer. Just think loose powder will be higher absorbency, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and use, this is Vive's been my go-to, can you tell? And I'm just going to powder the T-zone. If you're very oily in the summer, you might have to powder your entire face, or at least set all areas with powder. So use a powder bronzer, use a powder blush, and use a loose powder everywhere else on your face, okay? Jaw, line, everywhere. That is your best bet when it comes to longevity for oily skin. In my opinion, a setting spray can't do it. You need a loose powder. Sarah, powder isn't enough for me. I still am blotting during the day. I'm using like oil blotting papers. I need to touch up powder. Then I would say do the sandwich. We spray, we powder, we spray again, okay? Now, your swap will probably be something less oil absorbent. Charlotte Tilbury is a great setting spray because it actually will extend the life of your makeup because it actually has polymers to set it in place. But it is not meant for oily skin, in my opinion. It doesn't have anything for oil absorption. You need to look at labels for actual things, like I said, like silica that will absorb. My choice would be Milk. This is the Pore Eclipse Matte Setting Spray. I honestly thought this was gonna be like too matte. I mean, they call it matte, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. I love a glowy look. I do not think this is too matte at all, even for me who's not oily at the least. This is a fantastic spray. So if you need something that's gonna give you a little extra help in the summer, this is a great one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use this to melt that powder and yet still give me that long wear. This does have film formers to extend the life of your makeup as well, to give you better longevity with your makeup as well. Just remember, it doesn't matter what kind of setting spray you're using. If you don't use enough of it to coat your entire face, it's not gonna work. Okay, by now, I feel like my lips have been on long enough that I can show you the stain. I'm just gonna gently wipe that off. And you can tell it stains a lot. Right? I still have a lot of color, like maybe a titch too much for my preference, but it's gonna last all day. And then I can just top it with a favorite gloss, or to be honest, in the summer, I typically will grab something like this. So let's check out Naturium. Just came out. I am obsessed. I have every Phyto lip balm ever made over here. They just came out with SPF ones. And so I'm gonna pick the one that's gonna kind of tone this down a little bit. So I'm gonna pick this nude color one. And so they just made these with SPF 45 and I haven't even tried them yet. So let's see if the packaging, this is the same. Oh gosh, air bubble. Okay, minty. They kind of remind me of the prequel. Minty, fresh. I don't really feel like this is changing the color at all. But for summer, I do typically, if I'm gonna be going outside at all, I will replace my typical lip gloss. It's really easy, just kind of swap out this one for one with SPF. Last but not least, eyes. Now, I feel like powders wear really well in the summer, so you don't necessarily have to change up your typical eyeshadow palette, whatever you use. But I like easy in the summer. So my pick is going to be a one and done. I love one and done. There's some new discoveries for me. I showed you guys last time on YouTube the new Gen C liquid eyeshadows. These are fantastic. Way more affordable than the Armani ones. The Vive sticks. If you like a stick form and you just want to be able to scribble all over your eye and then take a brush and blend it out, these I feel like are very oil controlling and they look really good. It's just kind of like a base also if you like to create a base and then put a powder over it for a more long wearing eye look. If you have really oily eyelids like I do, you always are looking for stuff with oil control, and the Vive sticks definitely do that. The newest launch is this new Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Longwear Cream Eyeshadow. And I will be honest, I do feel like these have a lot of oil control. I kind of wish I would have got a darker color. This one's a little bit too light for me, even as like a base. This is the shade Sandstone, but I will show you guys. It's very matte, and you need very little, in my opinion, or it could feel almost heavy on the eye. Those are my initial thoughts. So I don't know, we'll probably try new colors, but it's not my favorite I've ever tried. And then another launch, I think these are out by now. I really hope so. I need to probably check. Is more from Seint, and these are their eyeshadow stay-ins, and they're nice glass bottles. And it's the same thing, a liquid eyeshadow. And I'm actually really obsessed with this color. This is the shade Spice. And their metallics, this is Sugar, are very metallic. And to be honest, the one I chose looks very much like the one I used last time, but look at that, isn't that pretty? So if you like a metallic eye, you can easily throw this on all over and then put a little dot of the metallic. I'm gonna show you just this one as like my one and done shadow. This is the shade Spice. So you can easily just kind of dot this on the lid and use your finger to blend it out if you wanted. I feel like these blend really easily. Again, you guys know I love a more affordable option than some of these, like $40 for an Armani eyeshadow is pretty ridiculous. These are just as long wear, but look how easily that blends out. I feel like these blend really well. Like the formulation is fantastic. And I feel like they build up if you want depth as well. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. So pretty, right? Oh my gosh, this color is everything. Run a little bit along the lower lash line. And then blending it out. Okay, and then last but not least, I just picked this up when it was launched and I was like, oh my gosh, those are so beautiful. And I find it genius. So if you don't want to throw a powder on the ball of your eye, if you want a little pop of shimmer, have you guys seen these new Color Fix sticks by Danessa Murix? Okay, first of all, genius. They're both magnetized so that you can mix and match with the other shades. I love a smart product. One is supposed to be metallic and one is supposed to be a foil. I will say the colors online are a little deceiving as far as the swatches go, in my opinion. So let me see. This is the color Aura Radiance. This is Duo 7. And it's a jelly type stick. Okay, this is the foiled one. It goes on very gold, and this is the one that has a pink shift. Now, if you actually like blend it out or just use your finger to kind of barely tap it on, it can be really beautiful and subtle. So don't get scared by like the initial swatch. I feel like when I first got it, I was like, whoa, that's different than I expected, but it can be really pretty. Now, I will say that I feel like this combo I picked out aren't super different from each other. And then some of the other combos were very extreme. So the other shade is called Magic Hour, and this is the metallic. And I feel like, you know, they look pretty similar. They look both in that kind of gold family. So here's that one. And you can kind of probably see the pink shade. They're very similar. So I kind of wish I would have got a different color that's a little different than each other, but I love the concept. I think it's gonna give it gives a really beautiful, like subtle sheen, very fine sheen. I'm gonna kind of show you, if I just say take a little bit right on the ball of the eye, and then all you have to do is kind of just blend it out with your finger, and you can get a really pretty, just catch the light. Like, to me, this is a perfect summer eye. I can throw on a shade that I know is not going to crease or move or budge all day because it's like water resistant, oil proof. And then I can just throw on a touch of shimmer on the ball of my eye to catch the light, give me a little bit more dimension and interest, because I love a shimmer, let's be honest. You can probably even take a touch of this in the inside corner. I don't know if this color could really go under my brow, but you could also use your illuminator for that. And then last but not least is, if you want an eyeliner, I would say if you're going for an eyeliner and you are gonna go sweat outside, go with a liquid, waterproof, one that you have tried and tested. The Saatchi one just launched their own eyeliner and I haven't even tried it yet. So I'm gonna swatch it on this side and we're gonna see, does it move? I'm gonna let that dry down. Very black. That was very, very black. I don't know if it came in other colors. That set really fast. Oh, it is waterproof. Might not be able to get this off later. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use a very, very fine line, because this has a great tip, by the way. Very thin. Very easy to use. First impressions. This is a really great eyeliner. Their brand has impressed me. No, this video is not sponsored by Saatchi. I just keep trying their stuff and I'm like, whoa, that's a genius launch. Whoa, that one's good too. Like, what are they gonna come out with next? Like, I'm excited. I'm excited to get some more shades. If you haven't tried anything from their brand, I would say try this if you like a bronzer / contour sculpt, and the liquid eyeshadow is fantastic. That color is perfection. They also launched a brow and freckle pen. I will be honest, never tried a freckle pen. I've never really had a desire to use a freckle pen because I've had freckles my entire life and I don't need to add more. But I mean, if I had a blemish, I could totally see myself using this to like make it a mole and hide it. So if you guys see me with a new mole in my face, you'll know. Okay, friends, so there you go. There are some of my new favorites I've been testing for this summer. Some swaps for maybe more lightweight oil, sweat control, better longevity, and fast, easy makeup. Is that too much to ask? I want it fast, easy, lasts all day, doesn't sweat, doesn't melt off, and looks great, right? As always, I will put everything I talked about down in the description box below the video. If you have any questions over what I used, I always put all the colors down there as well so that you guys know exactly what was on my face and what I swatched. Don't hesitate to reach out. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week. Love you.